The X-Zone radio and TV show is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone radio and TV show or in any manner endorsed by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, Talkstar Radio Network, its affiliated stations, or employees.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and for the next 4 hours, I'm your host and your guide as together we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone. It's a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. It's a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. And the X-Zone comes to you Monday through Friday from 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. Eastern on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable and our growing family of broadcast affiliates right across Canada, the United States, Central America, the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific Rim, Asia, Africa, and Europe. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com on MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv at hotmail.com. And our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. X-Zone Nation, my first guest of tonight's show is Linda Lee Heck. And we're going to be talking to Linda about her new book entitled The Channeling of September 11, 2001. Now, the days following the events of 9/11, Linda experienced something so strange. She felt an overwhelming, involuntary urge to pick up a pencil and draw. Linda's images were not formed in her own mind, but by her hand, seemingly guided by an external influence. At first, Linda's images appeared to be demonic in nature, perhaps channeling the evil spirits surrounding the 9/11 attacks. This unpredictable and explainable urge to draw lasted for 9 months. It's believed by Linda that her early, more abstract drawings depict man's earthly sins against God's Word. Joining me now is Linda Lee Heck. And Linda, welcome to the X-Zone.
Well, thank you, Rob. I'm glad to be here.
Linda, what was it like when you first picked up that pencil and started drawing and you basically had no control of what you were drawing? How did that feel?
Well, that's correct, Rob. What happened to me was my husband and myself and a guest were all sitting and watching the horrific events on the news broadcasts. Yeah. And before me lay just a pencil and paper that happened to be there on the coffee table, and this urge just started overwhelming me to pick up this paper and pencil. And I kept fighting with my psyche without speaking orally at all and going, why do I want to pick that up? I don't want to write anything. Mm-hmm. And the urge just kept getting stronger and kept getting stronger and kept getting stronger. And finally I gave in to the urge, and I picked it up and started making lines on the paper. And I was turning the paper with one hand while making lines with the other hand, and then suddenly, I don't know how long that took. All concept of time was gone. I really didn't think anything about my surroundings at that time. And then it stopped, and I looked down, and there was this image. And I was rather shocked by the image. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know why I drew it. I'd never drawn anything in my life before. So I was just left baffled. and shocked. And my husband walked over and said, "What were you doing?" And he looked at it, and he said the same thing. "What is this?" And I said, "I don't know, honey. I don't know."
Prior to this experience, Linda, had you had any psychic impressions that you're aware of?
No. Maybe good, strong intuition as a woman.
Yeah.
But as far as any other psychic abilities, no, none at all.
All right, Linda, please stand by. You and I have to take our first commercial break for this first hour of tonight's show. X Zone Nation, Linda Lee Heck is my special guest. Here's the website, www.thechannelingof911.com. That's thechannelingof911.com. Linda and I will return on the other side of this 2-minute commercial break as the X Zone continues with yours truly, Rob McConnell, from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, X Zone Nation, on September the 5th of this year, we will be releasing our 10th anniversary edition of the X Chronicles newspaper. That is a tribute to 9/11. It's going to be free for everyone around the world at www.xchronicles-newspaper.com/publisher. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
Where were you when the world stopped turning that September day? Out in the yard, your wife and children working on some stage in L.A. Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky?
Oh my
Did you
God,
shout
I
out
don't believe
in
it. The
anger?
northeast corner has exploded in the most incredible explosion. Flames are flying out of the building. They're 5-10 stories high now. Black billowing smoke. The building corner, the whole entire corner is gone.
Both World Trade Center buildings in New York City right now, heaps of rubble. At 9 o'clock this morning, a plane crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan.
I heard the noise. I was in my office, and I heard the guy screaming. So I ran out, and everybody was saying, "Oh, my God."
X Zone Nation, as everyone knows, this is the 10th anniversary of that horrific day, going back in time to September the 11th, 2001. And I don't believe there is anyone listening to this broadcast around the world who cannot remember where they were and what they were doing when they heard the news about the attacks on America and the attack on the worldwide democratic way of living. The world was under attack. However, they targeted the United States of America. Joining me this hour is Linda Lee Heck, and she is the author of a book that's entitled The Channeling of September 11, 2001. Her website is www.thechannelingof911.com. How long did you draw for, Linda?
Well, I began drawing, I believe it was 2 days after the event, and I continued drawing compulsively for the next maybe 4 or 5 months. Then it was a little bit more under my control that I could kind of hush the urge if it was an inconvenient time for me, but I did continue drawing for about 9 months.
My goodness. What were some of the drawings that you drew? What did they look like?
Well, all of those are available, not all of them, but some of them are available on my website. But the very first drawing, which was really a very shocking drawing, it kind of depicts an image of what one would maybe call a devil. It has 4 horns on its head or 3 horns on an ear, one or the other. One side of the body has, however, an angelic wing attached to it. And the other side does not. And in the center of the belly, which I came to learn later, was a sign, a 5-star sign, with a circle around it for some reason. And we learned later, when I had taken them to an artist in town to look at them, that symbol is a symbol that's commonly used in the Wicca religion.
Mm-hmm. It's called a pentacle.
Yes. And I guess there's two different ways that a pentacle, one is with stars 2 points up, and the other one's with it 3 points up. In my case, I believe we have here 3 points up and 2 down. And how that kind of falls in, I'm not quite sure, but and it has these are just rough lines. It has not a very pretty smile on its face. Its eyes are there, but they're not real distinct. But that was the very first one that I drew, and that was drawn on the 15th of September.
How many drawings in total have you done pertaining to 911?
I have 80, 82, somewhere around there.
Now, your book is entitled The Channeling of September 11, 2001. Who do you think, or who do you believe that you were channeling?
Well, the night of the event that happened, I went to bed that night, and I said a prayer to my great-grandmother, who at that time, in my mind, was my guardian angel. I have come since to learn that that's not possible, but at that time, and I asked her...
Whoa, wait a second. Let's go back here for a sec. Why is that impossible?
Well, generally, a guardian angel is somebody who has never lived in a human body. They're a spirit.
Who says that?
They live in the spirit world.
Who says that?
This is just different research that I have done and opinions of different people. So that kind of led me to believe that she's more of a spirit guide than a guardian angel. A spirit guide is somebody who has lived in a human body. And a guardian angel is somebody that chooses you to watch over you while you're here on earth, awaiting, for you. Eventually you'll pass over and hopefully become somebody's guardian spirit. So that's where I got the idea. But I said the prayer to her that night, and I asked her if the events of 9/11 was the beginning of the revelations told in the Bible. And I didn't really think too much more about it after that. Even when I started drawing, I didn't think about the prayer. It wasn't a long time after that I even thought about the prayer that I had lifted up at that time. And it was at that time when I started wondering where this ability was coming from, because I had never drawn anything before, that I began to question whether it was coming from a dark or a light force.
Now, prior to this automatic handwriting, as it's known, had you been interested in the paranormal, angels? Was there anything that had happened to you that had triggered this interest?
I don't think anything in particular, no, had happened to me. I had a couple of experiences where I'm pretty sure it was my guardian angels looking out for me that have protected me from harm that I believed was coming from them. But outside of that, that was about as far as my imagination I had allowed it to stretch at that point.
What was your incentive for releasing your 80 pictures in a book?
Well, we've carried them around with us, my husband and I, for the last 8.5, 9 years. And we had mentioned many times, I couldn't understand. I would look at the artwork, and I would look at it, Rob, and I would go, my God, I can't believe I've drawn these, because I never could draw anything. In fact, when my children were little, I tried to draw a pin the tail on the donkey for my kids, and my daughter said, give up, Mom, let me do it. That's how bad my drawing was. So when I would look at my pictures that I had drawn, I was wondering always, why did I draw them? Who are they for? And where did this talent come from, and why did it leave? So my husband and I had talked often about the possibility of maybe putting them in a book. And I began to get the feeling that they weren't just for me, they were for others. And shortly after my father died 2 years ago, I took my mother to a medium in the area, hoping that maybe she could get a message from my father. Her caretaker was very, very much involved with that kind of stuff, and she encouraged us to go. And it was at that meeting that the woman, Barbara St. John, who was the medium, after after the event was over with, called me to the side and said, Linda, I have a message that you have a job to do. And I just kind of looked at her like, what do you mean I have a job to do? And she goes, it has something to do with writing. You need to go ahead and do whatever it is you think you need to do with writing. And I just kind of looked at her and I said, okay. So that was kind of my confirmation when I left there. We came home. My husband and I started talking about it again. Mm-hmm. And that night we decided that, yes, this was not just meant for me to be carried around, put in closets wherever we go, not seen by anyone. And we wanted to share it. And I thought, well, if I share this and even one person out there goes through my book and finds any kind of peace or understanding, then it was worth the expense and the time to put it together.
Now, is this self-published?
Yes, it is.
Did you try and get it published by a mainstream publisher?
No, I didn't. I didn't even go there.
Why not?
I don't know. I think I felt that the book, because it was a small book, that probably any mainstream publishers wouldn't. And I was also concerned with the timing because I wanted the book out by the 10th anniversary.
I see.
Yeah.
What do you think someone would gain from looking at your drawings?
Well, first of all, I think my story is an interesting story about how this all came about and how it all ended. And I think that anybody who is interested in different types of paranormal activity or believes in guardian angels or believes in spirit guides or any of those things would find this interesting. And they might want to help me solve my own question, which is left at the end of the book, for them to decide from themselves after reading my story and looking at my drawings whether this was a guided thing, spirit-guided, how I came about doing this. I believe in my heart that most likely I was channeling some spirit that had a story to tell, and they told them in my drawings.
Do you think that some people may look at your book and say, all right, this is just another way for somebody to make a fast couple of bucks come the anniversary of 9/11?
Well, I think that that could be true because there are a lot of people out there that think and feel that way. My book is being the two proceeds. Wounded Warriors is going to .org, and Tuesday's Children were two of the charities that we choose to receive income from our book, because they were both established after the 9/11 events, and they helped the beneficiaries of those that were lost in the attacks on 9/11. So we've contributed $1 to each charity with each copy that's sold, which just leaves me enough money to really cover the cost of printing the books.
Now,
so that's not my goal.
All right. Now I understand that you started writing the pictures on the 15th of September.
Yes, the first picture was drawn.
Okay. And when did it stop? What date did it stop?
I believe the last one I had drawn was in the month of March.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. X-Zone Nation, Linda Lee Heck is our guest. www.thechannellingof911.com. That's www.thechannellingof911.com. This is the X-Zone on the Talkstar Radio Network, X-Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. 1-800-610-7035 worldwide. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. I'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
You're listening to the X Zone Radio Show, live and around the world on the Talkstar Radio Network, X Zone Broadcast Network, UK High Definition Radio, Euro High Definition Radio, and Star Cable. Our toll-free telephone number worldwide is 1-800-610-7035. Our email address, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. As you know by now, the X Zone radio and TV show, let me see, the X Chronicles newspaper, Rob McConnell Media Company, is fully supporting and backing Bill Cosby as a write-in candidate for president in 2012. Now, this is from the office of Bill Cosby, and he says, I have decided to become a write-in candidate for president in the year 2012. Here is my platform. Number 1, any use of the phrase press 1 for English is immediately banned. English is the official language. Speak it or wait outside our borders until you can. Number 2, we will immediately go into a 2-year isolationist attitude in order to straighten out the greedy, big business posture in this country. America and Canada will allow no imports and will do no exports. We will use the Walmart policy. If we ain't got it, you don't need it. We'll make it here and sell it here. Number 3, when imports are allowed, there will be a 100% tax on it coming in here. Number 4, all retired military personnel will be required to man one of the many observation towers located on the southern border of the United States and the northern border with Canada on 6 months tours. They will be under strict orders not to fire on southbound or northbound aliens. Number 5, Social Security will immediately return to its original state. If you put nothing in, you get nothing out. Neither the president nor the politicians will be able to touch it. Number 6, welfare checks will be handed out on Fridays at the end of a 40-hour school week after successful completion of a urine analysis test for drugs and passing grades. Number 7, professional athletes. Steroids. The first time you check positive, you're banned from sports for life. Number 8, crime. We will adopt the Turkish method. For example, the first time you steal, you lose your right hand. There are no more life sentences, I should say. If convicted of murder, you will be put to death by the same method you chose for the victim you killed. Gun, knife, strangulation, etc. Number 9, one export of ours will be allowed, that's wheat, because people around the world need to eat. However, a bushel of wheat will be the exact price of a barrel of oil. Number 10, allow foreign aid using American and Canadian taxpayer money will immediately cease, and the money saved will help pay off the national debt and ultimately lower taxes. When disaster occurs around the world, we'll ask the people if they want to donate to a disaster fund, and each citizen can make the decision as to whether or not it's a worthy cause. Number 11, the Pledge of Allegiance and Lord's Prayer will be said every day at school and every day in Congress and in both House of Commons and Senate of Canada. Number 12, the national anthem will be played at appropriate ceremonies, sporting events, outings, etc. Attendees will be invited to take off their hats while the national anthem is being played and or sung. My apology if I've offended or stepped on anybody's toes. Nevertheless, God bless the USA. God bless Canada. Sincerely, Bill Cosby, presidential candidate, 2012. 1-800-610-7035 is worldwide toll-free. And if you'd like to visit that website where we have it posted and take the X Zone Radio TV show, X Chronicles Presidential Poll, you can go to www.xzonenews.com/Cosby for President 1.htm. And as it stands right now, Bill Cosby is in the lead with 94,176 votes. Barack Obama has 138. Jimmy McMillan has no votes. Tom Miller has 1. Roy Moore has 1. Michelle Bachmann has no votes. Ron Paul has 4. Newt Gingrich has 23. Mitt Romney has 3. And listen to this. The runner-up after Bill Cosby is Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine. I can't believe it, with 1,976 votes. Once again, that's xzonenews.com/Bill Cosby, Cosby for President 1.htm. There you go, the voice of the people. I think he makes a lot of sense, and unfortunately, that's why I think he'll never become president, because he makes too much sense. Seems that as long as you make no sense and you keep your head in the sand with your butt up in the air, you can become a politician these days. My Lord, I'm looking at the stock market, and the Dow Jones is down 326.35 points. Double-digit recession, here we come. Our guest this hour, X Zone Nation, is Linda Lee Heck, and she is the author of The Channeling of 911. Her website is thechannelingof911.com. Linda, we talked a little bit about guardian angels, and when did you first believe or come to believe that guardian angels are really there, that they're just not a figment of people's imagination, they're not just a myth or a folklore, but they really do interact with people's lives?
Well, I think I really came to that realization a little bit later in life. I was driving on 75 in Florida, and I was in the far left-hand lane. Everybody was traveling about 80 miles an hour, and all of a sudden I heard somebody scream at me, "Back off, back off." And it was just loud, and it was vivid. And so I let my foot off of the gas and backed off, and within seconds I had to swerve into the median while I watched the cars before me pile up. And that was my final confirmation that, yes, there's somebody out there watching out for us. And I also had another incident earlier in life where I didn't listen to my guardian angel, and one of my children got hurt because I didn't follow that guardian angel saying to me that I needed to go check on them, and I didn't do it at the time. I should have done it, and my son ended up getting hurt. So 2 very, very vivid incidents in my life that has convinced me that somebody there, between the veil between this life and past life, somebody is there watching over us.
Have you had the urge to draw since you stopped drawing the 9/11 towers? Have you continued drawing or painting? Have you taken up art as a hobby, as a way to express yourself? And is your book to help others, or was it some sort of therapy for you?
You know, Rob, a lot of people think that it was therapy for me. I don't feel that it was. What happened to me was, you take a person who had no drawing ability whatsoever. And maybe if I had had some ability and I started doing this, it would make that kind of sense, that it was for my own self to understand the events. But I had no drawing ability. In fact, during the period of time that this was going on, my husband, who has always encouraged me in anything that I've chosen to do, suggested that I go take some art classes. So I thought, well, okay. So I went to the art classes, and every assignment that I was given, I could not accomplish. And I mean, even drawing an ice cream cone showing, the depths, like a 3D image of it. I was unsuccessful, very, very unsuccessful. And when I stopped drawing because I wasn't sure where it was coming from, and I just started fighting the urge. I went back about 8 to 12 weeks later, picked up paper and pencil, and tried to draw, and I was back to myself again with no ability to draw, even the simplest of things. And to this day, that is still the fact. Every once in a while, I do pick up a pencil and paper and think, well, let's try. Let's just see if this comes back. And nothing has happened. So I'm back to the normal state that I was prior to this. So because of the way it happened, never having an ability, never taking any art classes, never even having a desire to paint or draw or anything like that, really left us wondering where this was coming from.
I've gone to your website and I've checked it out, and when I've gone to your blog, I see that you're making a strong connection between optical illusions of what some people believe to be a demonic face in the smoke on the burning tower, and I've gone over the footage time and time again, and I often wonder why people want to add a demonic aspect in there when we know exactly what really happened.
Well, I think because of the image that Mark Phillip captured with his camera, which is noted in my book, he's a freelance photographer who happened to live just a few buildings from there. And when it was brought to his attention what was going on, he went to the top of his building and took those pictures, that particular picture that's in the book. And I had drawn the picture that relates to his picture without seeing his. I found his on the Internet sometime later on when I was searching the Internet. And when that picture came out, I was shocked. I went back to my picture that I had drawn while riding in the car with my husband, and I had drawn this picture. And in fact, I had the picture out in the garage. I didn't even want it in the house with me because I didn't like it. I had been leaving it in the garage. So I went to get the picture and brought it in and looked at his picture. So then, as I've mentioned in the book, I don't know if I subliminally picked that up while watching the events, that I really did see that picture in the smoke, even though it hadn't been pointed out to any of us. And that's why I drew it. Or if it was coming and it was being channeled through me as a message that this is, whatever's going on is not good. However the connection is made, I'm really not sure even to this day how the connection is made. Only that my drawing was so similar to his picture that was captured of this image in the smoke.
Now, is that the image that you have on the front cover of your book?
That's the one that I drew, yes.
And that's the one you believe is similar to his photograph?
Yes.
I can't see a comparison.
To us, we can. They look very much alike. There are a few lines in them that are different, but they were so close that I found it shocking.
Now, and that's the image that you have on the front of your book?
Yeah, and also in the page facing his picture in the book that I got permission to use in my book from him. On the opposite page is the picture that I drew. So the picture actually shows twice, the one on the front cover and the one inside the book, so that they could see the similarity with them facing one another.
You know, I've got to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm looking at both of them here on a split screen, and I cannot see a similarity.
Well, you know, everybody is
it perception? Is it the will and the desire to see something in a photo that some people see it when other people look at it objectively and they see nothing?
I believe that could be very true. I'll give you an example of that. While in Alaska, my husband took a picture of a dredge in Alaska. When we got the picture back, I could see an image, which I will say was a ghost on top of the dredge, and had shown the picture to many, many people. And some people saw it and some people couldn't see it. So that would be a good example of that.
Now, prior to this event and your drawing, had you gone to see psychics, mediums, clairvoyants before, or was this something that just happened after this event?
Actually, I have to admit, yes, I had gone to have my palm read in New Jersey on the boardwalk, and that was many, many, many years ago.
All right, but you didn't have a fascination with the unknown, so to speak.
Correct.
What changed your mind?
Well, I think a lot of that changed my mind is just going through this experience and wondering where it came from and why it happened to me. And it made me start doing research, and I took some of my drawings and I tried desperately to find some way to explain them. And since then, my mind has been open, my eyes have been open, and that there's a lot that goes on that I believe is paranormal. I've also, since all this has happened to me, I often watch the ghost stories on TV and paranormal activity because it has piqued my interest, and I do believe that a lot goes on out there that we do not have control of as far as the paranormal activity goes.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take our final break. We'll be back after some fine words from our sponsors. Exo Nation, Linda Lee Heck is our guest. She's the author of The Channeling of 911. Website, www.thechannelingof911.com. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I've been changing, as you can plainly see. I felt the joy and I learned about the pain that my mama said. If I should choose to make a part of me, it should have struck me dead. And now I'm one toe over the line, sweet Jesus, one toe. Walks further down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah. Another one bites the dust.
Oh, Exo Nation, how did you know I was going to play that song as we were winding up that segment with Linda Lee Heck? Craig wrote on a piece of paper, another one bites the dust, and he put it on the window that separates us, and he was so right. I'm sorry, it just got a little bit way too strange. I went to the website, I looked at the pictures, I saw no comparison whatsoever. And why is it that people have to implicate evil into some disaster, some catastrophe, some horrific event that is caused by human beings that has nothing whatsoever to do with evil? Why did it take this lady 9 years to publish her book? If she felt so strong about it, if there was such a strong connection to these drawings, and she really did want to help these two charities, which I think is it's a great thing to do. Why did it take 9 years when she actually could have been helping them along the road? I get very suspicious when things like this happen. Very suspicious. And I've got to tell you something, Exo Nation, that I just really don't believe everything that people try to feed me doing this job. And I'm not afraid to question. I'm not afraid to challenge. I'm not afraid to say, basically, what are you talking about? Why didn't you do this? Why did you do that? For example, another thing, Exo Nation, is that there was no connection with the paranormal. All of a sudden, this book comes out, automatic writing, which could have been doodling. Gosh, kids doodle all the time. And, it seems that this is an opportunity to make money. And I really can't promote that. I don't buy it. I looked at the pictures. I didn't see any resemblance. And for somebody to sit and tell me that, there's a resemblance, or that she saw a picture that was taken by somebody else and she saw a ghost. I was going to ask her if she had shown these pictures to a professional mental counselor to see what the psychologist would have said. But Craig, in his ultimate wisdom, said, end the interview. So, Craig, thank you very much, buddy. As always, you're my safety factor. And, Craig, what are you drawing over there anyway? You're doing some automatic writing, are you? Well, no, doesn't look like a devil. No, doesn't have 4 horns. No. Craig, you're not going to get a book out in time, so just give it a break, pal. Let's just do what we do. Investigate the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology. There is the truth out there, X-Zone Nation. And I believe it is out there, and it's only by weeding out those who have ulterior motives will we find the truth. However, when it comes to this book, I don't think you're going to find the truth, X-Zone Nation. Check it out yourself, www.thechannelingof911.com. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break. Don't go away.